Hello, my name is Pete Martin. This is video number 5 in the Mandolin Basics series, and this is on the use of the pinky, how to use it effectively, and how to train it so that it can be used fluidly. First thing, in using the pinky, even though the pinky is a shorter finger than the others, we still need to make sure that when we use it, we keep it bent at both the knuckles. So in other words, when you finger with the pinky finger on the mandolin, you can see that I am keeping both of the knuckles on the pinky bent. You've got to make sure not to straighten out one of the knuckles or the other. This is really hard for me to do, sorry. But I quite often will see people play flattening out one or both of the knuckles of the pinky. We're going to look at the hand position that will allow you to play on the tip of the pinky. And toward the end of this video, we'll also look at some left hand exercises that involve a lot of use of the pinky, that if you do them the right way and are patient with them, you will eventually train the pinky to work fluidly and work in the right way. Another thing is you always want to play on the pad of the tip of the pinky. Not. So you want to play right here. Not the side. And not so far on the tip that you're hitting the pinky fingernail. You want to play on the pad of the pinky. See if I can get it in a place where you can see it very clearly. Right there. So you basically want to use the pinky exactly like you use any of the other fingers. Stay on the tips. Okay. Before we look at the hand position for the pinky, let's just look at let's look at some things about how the hand is built. I want you to right now hold up your hand like this and place as big a space as you can between your pinky and your ring finger. Okay? Note how far it is. Sorry. Note how far it is from the pinky to the ring finger. Now bring it back together. Now as big a space as you can between the ring finger and the middle finger. The old Spock live long and prosper salute. Bring them back together. And now as big a space as you can between the index and middle finger. Like this. After doing some observation of this, do it a few times, do all these a few times, and notice where the biggest gap is between two fingers. Most people are going to agree the biggest gap is between the index and the middle finger, like this. Some people can put a pretty big gap between their pinky and ring finger, but most people can put a much bigger gap between the index and the middle finger. All right, why is this useful? Well, let me show you. This is especially useful when we look at how the bluegrass chop chord is done, especially the G chord and the A chord. I've had a number of students over the years tell me that they can't stretch their pinky to get the chop chords. The G chop chord, the A chop chord, the D and E four-finger chop chord. Let's look at the A chop chord. Just like this. Okay? I am keeping all my fingers bent and coming down on the ends. What most people do that I think gets them into trouble, and I'll demonstrate this with the G chop chord. They put their hand where their index finger is very comfortable, their middle finger is comfortable, their ring finger, and now in order to get to the pinky, I've had to straighten my pinky out and not keep any curve in it like I want to. Alright, so if I curve my pinky, I really want the pinky to be all the way up to the 7th fret, but it falls really right on top of the 6th fret, and I get a sound that I don't want. Even if I do get a sound on the pinky, it's the 6th fret, not the 7th fret that I want. Remember this little exercise that we did where we found the biggest spaces in between our index finger and ring finger. Here is the way to put the hand up to the neck that can make efficient use of the pinky. We put our hand up to the neck where we can keep the pinky bent. Can you see that? Now we keep that hand position right here and we simply pull back this way. Do you notice this gap right here between the index and middle fingers? So I pull my index and middle fingers backward that way using this motion. So take your hand, hold it up, pull your index finger back toward your thumb, and pull your middle finger back to your thumb. That's all you're doing, except you just have the fingers bent. If you do this, then place the pinky where you can keep the pinky bent. You'll be able to get to this 4-finger chop chord, keeping all of the fingers softly bent. And notice now, there's bend in my pinky, whereas a minute ago, when I had my hand in the other position, where my index finger was comfortable, but my pinky wasn't, I had to straighten the pinky out. So by moving my whole hand, maybe a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch toward the body of the instrument. In other words, from here to here, it's about the distance for me of about 1/2 fret. Some people will have to move a full fret. That's not even a 1/2 inch, I don't think. All of a sudden now, I can keep all the fingers in a place if I stretch these back, stretch the index and stretch the middle back, to keep all the fingers bent. Lets the full chop come out clear. I use that same left hand position not only in playing the 4-finger bluegrass chop chords, but in playing anything where I need to use my pinky in playing a melody. Place the hand where the pinky is comfortable and simply pull my index finger back to get the 2nd fret. I'll give you some demonstrations right here, some tunes that use that. Very common tune that uses the pinky is both the A parts and B parts of Blackberry Blossom. Notice, do you see this gap right here in my index finger reaching back to the 2nd fret? because I have to play the 2nd fret on the D followed by the 7th fret on the E string. And notice on the 7th fret of the E string, you can see my pinky finger right here. It's kind of tough to see it at this angle. Sorry. Do it like this. Now hold it up like that. See, both of the knuckles of my pinky are bent. They don't have to be bent a ton, but they need to be bent at least a little bit. Pull the index back, and now I can reach my pinky just fine. Pull the index finger back and I can reach my pinky just fine. Another tune that uses the pinky quite a lot, especially on the bottom strings, which is real good, is Durham's Bull. Notice, okay, I'm in the key of A here. My ring finger needs to take the 6th fret on the G and D strings. In this key, and my pinky will take the 7th fret. By keeping this hand position where I'm pulling back this way, except with my fingers bent, I can reach the 2nd fret and put my hand in a place where the ring finger and the pinky can stay softly bent and get to the 6th and 7th frets on the G string, D string. I won't do that one. Yeah, heck with those playing examples. Okay, here are some left-hand pinky exercises. If you want the music and tablature for these, write me through my website or my email address, which you can see right here. Or you can get at the end or beginning of this video. It's real important when you do these, if you do not already play fluidly with your pinky, you need to do these extremely slow and extremely clean. The first set is I'm going to play 7 on each string with the pinky and 6 with the ring finger all the way across and back. Now do these extremely slow and do not be happy until you can play every note very clean. Now we're going to do the opposite, 6 to 7. Notice as I do this, I'm keeping the pinky bent and coming down on the tip of the pinky. Okay? The next exercise is pinky on 7, ring finger on 5 all the way across and back. its opposite, 5 to 7 on each string. The next one, pinky on 7, middle finger on 4 all the way across and back. And its opposite, 4 to 7. This next one is one of the harder ones to do. It's 7 with the pinky to 3 with the middle finger. Do this one very slow and deliberately, keeping the pinky in the proper position. Sorry. Now just the opposite, 3 to 7. Remember to play these slow enough that you can get an extremely clean, controlled sound and that you're landing on the end of the pinky with both knuckles bent. If you do it too fast to where you don't land on the end of the pinky or you straighten out either of the knuckles, you're training yourself in a technique that will never be fluid eventually. So you're going to have to go back and just go slower and train yourself. You have to let this exercise, you can't use it as a speed exercise. You've got to use it as a training for accuracy exercise first. Eventually you can use it going faster when you learn how to play accurately. And the last one of these is going to be 7 to 2 with the pinky on 7, index on 2. And its opposite, 2 to 7. That completes exercise number 1. There's one more exercise I'm going to give you that once again stresses the pinky and how it's used. So once again, just like I've been telling you all along, make sure that you play these exercises extremely slow, very accurate, keeping the pinky bent and landing on the tip of the pinky, not the side, and not on the nail. So here's the second exercise. Once again, if you want the music or tab to this, email me and let me know, and I'll email you the PDF file. In this one, we're going to play the pinky on 7, ring on 6, pinky on 7, ring on 5, pinky on 7, middle on 4, pinky on 7, middle on 3, pinky on 7, index on 2, pinky on 7. Then we move to the next string and do exactly the same thing. Notice once again that I'm stretching backwards right here to get this. I'm not moving my hand up and back. I'm keeping my hand in the same place, but stretching backwards with my index finger to get that. Reminder once again, very slow, very accurate with your pinky placement and pulling back with the index finger. Now the D string. And finally the G string. That one's a little more difficult, so you may want to do that one more often. I like to use right hand exercises and left hand exercises as warm-ups for when I first pick up the instrument each day. So I will do these two exercises that I've just gone through. I used them as a warm-up for the left hand, and then I used some warm-ups for the right hand. There's some real good if anybody wants some right hand warm-ups, I'm not going to do a video on them. There's a whole bunch of things on the net. There's some good ones at Mandolin Cafe in the mandolincafe.com in the instruction set, in the instruction area. I can email anybody a PDF that they want of some right hand exercises, a few right hand exercises. If you have any questions about the right hand, look at my video on the right hand on YouTube. And anybody else, work at things very slowly, very clean, and good luck.